Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Crypto Basic Pro XRP lawyer John Deaton included in headline in light of possible bad news for Ripple in latest Judge TORRES ruling. And I'm going to presume that every single one of you is aware of the great news, the ruling from Judge TORRES last night, indicating that the Billy Boy Hinman, Ethereum free pass emails and related papers are all going to be made public. About that, I shot a video. It's the final video I've made on the subject, and I go into great detail on the release date and other pertinent information. And the answer is almost probably sooner rather than later. So, that's great news all around. But could there be some bad news hidden here? Yes, that's the topic we'll be discussing. The second piece of information is also quite awful. I can no longer take this. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is often considered to be the worst government institution in the country. It's challenging to think of something like that, you know. Furthermore, I'll never understand the type of individuals that want the government to have more money and expand indefinitely. Do you wish to hear more of the same? Does this satisfy your needs? Are you sure you want all of this? I believe in having some form of government, but please make it smaller so we can stop throwing money away and giving power to unaccountable bureaucrats. It's out of control and doing ridiculous things. Acquisition of new jurisdictions. That's one hell of a code word. My wealth, and presumably yours, is being decimated by these guys. Check out the headline in the CoinDesk file if you're listening. Grayscale's share price falls when the SEC requests that the company withdraw its application to implement trust reporting. That's one hot take, son. It's enough to set fire to those biscuits. He can say that I was his whore. But there is something I need to clarify before we go any further. I have zero experience in either the law or finance. Please do not take anything I say as professional advice. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. I'm just a fan who occasionally posts videos to YouTube discussing random crypto-related things for kicks. Okay, then. To the first section. During the SEC v. Ripple hearing, Deaton cited a portion of the judge's recent ruling that could hurt Ripple's case. Judge Annalisa Torres's denial of the SEC's demand to seal the draft of William Hinman's controversial speech from 2018 has reportedly put the crypto basic XRP community in a good mood. And I should pause to say that's a pretty spot-on description. The value of XRP shot up. I don't know what it was at its highest point from the time the news broke, but I just checked Live Coin Watch and it was up 9–10% in the previous 24 hours. That's a fairly huge deal. And then it fell back a little, but it's still up from where it was at the time the news broke, at least as of the recording's time. Peace continues as XRP supporters flock to Twitter to mark the occasion, with prominent community member XRP Productions setting up a Twitter hub to explain the significance of Judge Torres's decision. Hinman emails docs with John Deaton is the name of the Twitter Spaces. Crypto Lawyers creator, John Deaton, said he'd show up at 8 o'clock tonight, and he did. So, here's something that could be awful for Ripple. Today, Deaton tweeted his concern that the ruling could prevent Ripple from winning its case against the SEC in its entirety. Deaton singled out a troubling section of the decision. Here's a snippet from the decision, quote, "The Howey analysis is crucial to the party's motion for summary judgment, and the aforementioned financial data relating to Ripple's XRP sales and payment to third parties to list XRPs directly relevant to this motion." And now I'm going to end that aside. That's a very different video topic, therefore I won't be diving into Ripple and the concept of listing payments to third parties until my next video. Thus, transactions are the topic at hand. The answer, I can tell you, should be no, unless executives have been deliberately dishonest. If the answer is affirmative, even partially, then worries should be raised. You can see, then, why lawyer John Deaton was emphasizing that point. So to be continued. So, as promised, here is Deaton's tweet from his law firm. He wondered aloud if there would be some unpleasant news in the verdict. After that, more of the story is told. Ripple had asked Judge Torres to keep secret details about its XRP sales to on-demand liquidity clients, but she rejected the request. The sum of money the blockchain firm forked over to crypto exchanges in exchange for its seal of approval. And so on. Ripple's odds of success in its case against the SEC are likely to be affected by this new information, but just how remains unknown. Deaton, though, has promised an astrophysical response to the claim. As for my thoughts on the matter, I'll share them with you. This evidence and TORRES' denial that it was sealed have no bearing on the result of the case because they have already been disclosed during the discovery process. It is relevant to the investigation. The only question is whether or not you and I will have access to this information after it is unsealed. So the answer is yes, we will be able to view this information. We have therefore known this for a very long time, even if there are some details about the concept that we were previously unaware of. I would guess 4 or 5 years. We were aware that Ripple was their primary sales channel. That's something they've been open about. While it's true that Ripple has extended what could be called sweetheart deals to select customers in the past, I'm not convinced that doing so has reaped any real benefits for the company as a whole. This is because, for a long time, the price of XRP was trending downward while the company was buying in bulk for these select customers. As a result, even if you acquire XRP at a discount, you may end up losing money in the long run because you'll have to keep it in storage for at least a year. The potential for harm remains, after all. And so, I never had an issue with what they were doing regardless of price changes. I'm just curious as to where we stand on the issue of volume discounts for customers and items in general. That's as ridiculous as it sounds. Therefore, I do not think that is rational. The next item is what has put today's biscuits on the monetary record. Another one of my coins has been labeled a security by the SEC. That's what they've said now. I'm aware that Gary Gensler has said that Bitcoin isn't a security in and of itself, but in terms of what the SEC is fighting, this is at least the 4th coin I own that the SEC is alleging is a security. Thus, I now hold Filecoin in addition to XRP and Algorand Dash. There may be more that I'm forgetting, but I can think of at least 4 right off the bat, and I'm going to quickly look them up here because I tweeted about them earlier. Cryptocurrency volatility doesn't scare me at all. In fact, I'm a cryptocurrency investor because of the inherent volatility of the market. What scares me is the SEC. False claims have been made concerning several cryptocurrencies I own, significantly reducing my wealth. And if you believe any of those, you've been hurt as well. Since this is an XRP-focused channel, I'm also prepared to wager that the vast majority of listeners here already own XRP. My God, was that? In my opinion, it is still being suppressed artificially. However, that huge drop towards the end of 2020 after the news surfaced was disastrous. I'm not literally scared when I say that. To put it simply, no. My true intent is to express grave worry. I'm not a coward who will sit here and take it. What I mean by afraid is not that. In reality, everyone here is fighting back. Since I have this forum, I'm responding as forcefully as I can by publicizing the SEC's lies, calling them out as such, and raising awareness about the agency's despicable actions. But no, I'm not concerned at all. I'm interested in the price swings of cryptocurrencies. I mean, it's only the SEC. I'm more concerned about the damage they could do to the value of cryptocurrencies. My financial situation is deteriorating, and that trend continues until the present day. Here is what lawyer Deaton had to say about it. The SEC could designate any coin as a security at any time. It looks like Grayscale is fighting it. The leading sentence follows. Based on data from the CoinDesk blockchain database, Grayscale's stock price tanks after the SEC orders the company to scrap its trust reporting application. Okay, I guess we're ready to start. On Wednesday, the asset manager Grayscale reported that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission had urged it to drop an application to make its final CoinTrust product more like a public business. For its CoinTrust product, Grayscale has voluntarily submitted a Form 10 to become a reporting business subject to quarterly and yearly reports. Grayscale has been urged by the SEC to pull that application. In a news release, Grayscale said that the federal securities regulator had provided feedback in the form of a comment letter. Filecoin is a security in every sense of the word. And please, take a moment to reconsider. What they say, essentially. Toss the penny in the drawer. The coin, the asset, the underlying asset is a security in the legal sense. No way that could happen with the current legislation. Plus, it's not. An excerpt follows. Staff at the SEC, and this comes directly from Grayscale, have asked that the registration statement be withdrawn as soon as possible. Grayscale does not consider Filecoin to be a security under U.S. federal securities laws, and the company plans to provide the SEC staff with a detailed explanation of its reasoning as soon as possible. Grayscale is unable to foresee whether the SEC staff will be persuaded by Grayscale's position, in which case Grayscale may be forced to seek accommodations that would allow the trust to register under the Investment Company Act of 1940, or to seek dissolution of the trust. Quote ends. How disgusting is that? In contrast, whose interests are being served by this? There isn't a solution. Here is a look at the value of file currency over the past 24 hours. Those of you paying attention will have noticed that the value of Filecoin has suddenly dropped dramatically. Just look at how it drops. The good news is that it appears like a sizable portion of that drop has already been made up for. But the SEC is at stake here. Since the underlying assets are not securities, Deaton shouldn't be intervening in this situation. The market isn't being hurt, but individuals are freaking out and selling because of these false reports. They're designed to shield capital. The way they act is harmful to investors. Yes, proceed upwards. One possible bright spot is that, at least in my experience, fewer people seem to be taken in by such schemes these days. From what I can recall, the enormous price decrease predicted for XRP towards the end of 2020 was the reason for the designation. It was somewhere about 55 cents, if not a bit more. In a short amount of time, I believe it fell to around 16 or 17 cents. Huge decline. Well, now the SEC is classifying yet another currency as a security. Some individuals do get scared, and that's not fair since they shouldn't have to wonder what the consequences might be. The SEC is meant to look out for me, yet they're the ones telling me this. They're meant to look out for me and what's best for me. Actually, they aren't. It's common knowledge that they're the bad guys. People are reacting to this, and some of them are freaking out. The market price drops, panic ensues, and stop losses are triggered. So it's probably just second nature for some folks. The SEC news I've been reading has been just repulsive. If there is any good news, it's that people are starting to see through this. Evidently, some victims are being duped. Not that I blame them, either. The SEC is to blame, but the loss in Filecoin's value won't be anywhere near as catastrophic as XRP. In fact, it appears to have made a full recovery. So some would say, oh yeah, well, I guess it's a buy the dip situation for some. That's probably how they saw it, at least. It remains completely abhorrent and unacceptable. These folks are truly evil. These individuals are the lowest of the low. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing they say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.